Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something a little different today. We're tackling Geometry, the third book of Foundations by Michel Serres.
Really interesting stuff.
Now, I know what you might be thinking, geometry, like triangles and stuff. But hold on, because this isn't your high school geometry class?
Not even close. With Serres, it's always about the connections.
Exactly. He's a philosopher who's not afraid to think outside the box. And he finds these incredible links between geometry, human history, and how we make sense of, well, everything.
And he starts off with this really wild concept. It's called the apeiron.
Apeiron. Okay, so break that down for us. What is that?
So imagine, like, before the Big Bang, before the universe as we know it, there's no up, no down, no left, no right, just pure potential, no limits. That's the apeiron.
So how do we get from this kind of cosmic soup to, actual geometry, squares and circles?
That's what Serres is getting at. He connects the apeiron to the development of, like justice systems, the very idea of justice. And, get this, money.
Wait, money? I'm not following. How does money fit into this primordial soup?
Okay, so think about it. For any kind of society to work, you need some way to measure value, right? To trade. Like, this many sheep is equal to that much grain. Money becomes that common ground.
Right.
And that's a huge shift from this formless apeiron. It's like we're imposing order on a world that was once undefined. You see this even in ancient myths. The Omphalos, the navel of the world, they were trying to find the center of something that might not even have one.
So we're moving away from the boundless toward a more defined, measured reality.
Exactly. And this is where geometry comes in.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this. But before we get too far into the weeds, Serres uses this amazing example to illustrate this shift. He describes this vibrant, colorful alpine meadow.
Beautiful image. But is it just a chaotic jumble of flowers? Or is there some hidden order there? It makes you think, are we imposing order through geometry or revealing an order that's already there?
That's a big question, and it's one that Serres helps us explore in a really fascinating way.
It's all about how we understand the world around us, how we go from just experiencing it, with our senses to measuring it, defining it.
From the formless to the form.
Exactly.
And Serres gives us this great example of how this shift happens. It's the story of Thales, the Greek guy who figured out how to measure the pyramids using their shadows.
Classic story, right?
Total genius. But it's more than just a neat trick.
Oh, absolutely. Serres uses it to introduce this idea of homothety.
Homothety. Okay, there's got to be an easier way to say that.
Think of it like a map. It's a smaller version of a bigger thing, right? But even though the size changes, all the relationships stay the same. That's basically homothety. Shapes can be bigger or smaller, but the proportions, the relationships between the parts, those are constant.
So Thales uses this idea, this homothety, to unlock the secrets of the pyramids.
He's finding the hidden order in something massive and seemingly unknowable.
And that goes back to the apeiron, right? Thales is moving away from that boundless state by using geometry to find those fixed relationships. He's measuring, defining.
He's creating knowledge. And that brings us to another really important concept in Serres, the nomen.
Yes, the nomen. It's like the multi-tool of the ancient world. It's the thing on a sundial that casts the shadow, tells time. But it's also a tool for builders, right? Helps them get things perfectly square.
It's a geometric shape in itself with all these cool properties. But here's where Serres blows your mind. He connects the nomen to artificial intelligence.
Hold on, I'm getting whiplash here. How do we go from sundials to AI?
Think about what the nomen actually does. It holds knowledge, right? It knows how to tell time, how to make a right angle, and it acts on that knowledge. So in a way, it's blurring the line between human intelligence and, well, something else.
So are our smartphones and computers just modern day nomens?
Maybe. It makes you wonder. What is intelligence, really? And is it something unique to humans? These are questions Serres wants us to grapple with. But to really understand this search for knowledge, for those fundamental truths, Serres introduces us to a really interesting character, Diogenes.
Diogenes, the guy who lived in a barrel.
That's the one. And he's a really important figure for Serres because he represents this radical pursuit of simplicity, of stripping away everything that's unnecessary to get to the core of existence.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but we're talking about geometry, right? What's the connection here? How do we get from shapes and angles to philosophers and barrels? I gotta admit, it seems like a bit of a leap. But you're right, Diogenes. He was all about getting back to basics.
Exactly. He's like, forget all the distractions, the stuff, the status symbols. Show me what's real. Show me the sun, the water, the elements of life itself.
So he's stripping everything down, kind of like decluttering on a cosmic scale.
Exactly. And in that way, he's not that different from our friend Thales with his geometry.
Okay, I'm listening. How so?
Think about it. What is geometry all about? It's about finding the underlying patterns, the fundamental shapes, the structures that make up the world around us.
Okay, I see that. Finding the order in the chaos.
And that's what Diogenes was doing too. He was searching for the essential truths of human existence, the things that really matter beneath all the noise and clutter.
Wow, okay. That's a new way to think about it. So are you saying we should all just ditch our possessions and go live in barrels?
Well, I wouldn't recommend taking it that literally, but maybe there's something to be said for simplifying our lives, for being more mindful of what's truly important.
I like that. So how do we find that balance? How do we apply this Diogenes spirit without going full-on hermit?
Maybe it's about looking for the geometry in our everyday lives.
The geometry. Give me an example.
We'll take something like a sunflower. Those spiral patterns on the seeds. That's geometry in action, right there in nature.
Oh, wow. I never thought of it that way.
It's about finding those hidden connections, the patterns that reveal the elegance and order behind what might seem random or chaotic.
So we're not just talking about shapes on a page. We're talking about a way of seeing the world, a way of thinking.
Exactly. And that's what makes Serres so brilliant. He helps us connect those dots, from ancient philosophers to the technology we use every day.
It's amazing when you think about it, how these ideas from thousands of years ago are still relevant today.
Right. Like when you use your smartphone, you're tapping into centuries of mathematical thought. Remember the gnomon and how Serres connected it to AI?
Oh, yeah. It's like our phones are these tools built on a foundation of geometry, helping us understand and navigate the world.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, if we tap into a bit of that Diogenes spirit, if we start looking for the uninteresting, the essential, the easily overlooked, we might unlock even deeper levels of understanding.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. It's like geometry isn't just something you learn in school. It's a key to unlocking the mysteries of, well, everything. From the origins of the universe to artificial intelligence, it's all connected.
It really makes you appreciate the power of these fundamental concepts.
Absolutely. So the next time you encounter a triangle or a circle, don't just think about angles and formulas. Remember, you're looking at the building blocks of the universe, the echoes of ancient wisdom, and maybe even a reflection of yourself. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep looking at the geometry of all of life.